Welcome back to another episode of Shaner's Shop. This is a fun one, guys. So we recently purchased 22 acres, just about an hour to an hour and a half away from where we currently live. Beautiful piece of land. Unfortunately, there's a couple issues, as you'll begin to notice in this drone footage. And yes, that is a creek running the right side of the property there. Unfortunately, as you may see, there are a lot of down trees throughout the property, and obviously we've got currently about 8 to 9 acres of the land that are currently underwater, as you'll see here. As this drone goes up, the footage will pause for a second. I want to draw your attention to the lower left hand quadrant of the video, and you'll see a great big kind of bunch of sticks. More on that later, but love to see your predictions in the comments. This next video will show you kind of the status of the water. We've currently got 4 acres that are under 2 to 3 feet of water, and another 4 to 5 acres that are anywhere between 6 inches to a foot and a half of water. And obviously, I'm sure by looking, if you guessed correctly, we've got plenty of beaver sign in the area. So these are all photos of some of the damage the beavers have caused in the area. That big bundle of sticks in the beginning, this is kind of a close-up of it. That is what is called a beaver lodge. It's where the beavers live. We wanted to confirm that this was an active lodge, so we set up a game camera, and unfortunately, as you'll see in this next picture, right on the right-hand side there's a beaver swimming right towards the lodge. So our first course of action then is to try to get rid of the beavers to prevent further damage and further flooding. We contact our local authorities, as far as Department of Game and Fish, and asked what our course of action should be. They recommended trapping, so that's what we did. None of us have ever had any experience trapping beavers before, so this was new. So I turned to lovely YouTube and got all the advice I could get. One of the guys I work with has trapped for a while and gave me some tips there as well. So we went out and bought 3 of these traps. These are called conibear traps, the 330 size. The 2 wires you see there in the middle are the trigger, and the top kind of clasp on the top is called the dog. These traps operate, you can see the link on the springs on the right side. That's currently the safety, which is holding that spring together. However, as I'm mentioning there, that'll when you set the trap, you'll take that off, and then we'll put those springs under pressure. As soon as something trips those trigger wires, that trap will want to lay flat. And these things are pretty aggressive. I had to see it for myself, so I tested with a stick and snapped a stick. So I can tell you they're pretty strong traps. So the kind of set we're trying here is a caster mound set. Obviously, I've had no experience, so my brother and I were just kind of winging it based on what I've learned from YouTube, and trying to see if what we're going to do is going to work well. This spot looked like it was a spot that beavers may have been coming out of that creek up onto the dry land, so we figured what better place to test than that. So what we're doing here is setting sticks to kind of anchor these conibear traps down, and then you'll kind of see here in a second. We'll put the 2 main anchor sticks. We've got 2 sticks that are kind of forming an X that are holding our trapper wire, so if that trap goes off and for whatever reason moves a little bit, these 2 sticks here actually, hopefully that trap or whatever's in it won't go far. After that, we'll set some more sticks within those springs and kind of pack it with some loose grass, sticks, mud, whatever we've kind of got in the area, to try to entice that beaver to think that going through that trapway is kind of the only way to that dry land in this area. After that, we will stack some more mud right behind the trap. We'll set it back about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. We'll grab another stick, and I've got some lure. It's just a caster lure and I'll use another small stick to kind of get a little bit of that caster scent and stick that kind of right in the center of that mud mound. From what I understand, that's the beavers' way of marking their territory, and anytime they smell a new caster scent and don't recognize the scent as one of their own, they obviously want to go check it out. So what we're doing is trying to entice them to go through that trap to get to the caster mound that we're setting. again, this is my first time. I had no idea how it was going to work out. Obviously, there are people in our area probably that would come out and trap them. But we figured with the water the way it was and the access the way it was, we were better off trying to do it ourselves. I definitely am always one to try new things, and I love hunting, I love fishing. Trapping just was one of those things I'd never done before, but when the opportunity came, I definitely jumped on it. So went out and bought our 3 traps. So yeah, here you can see we're stacking up that grass, sticks, and mud to kind of make it look like that's the only spot in. And then here shortly you'll see where I start gathering mud and forming a mound. Was lucky enough that my brother was available both 2 days in a row to head down with me. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from where we live, to head down to this property to help me both set and check the traps. I have to say, I think I was a little more confident than he was. My YouTube education did me well. I thought there was going to be no issue. But as you'll see here in just a second, I've inserted a still frame where you will see just kind of a final look at our trap setup. And then right after that, I included a short clip. My brother hadn't had the chance to smell that castor yet. It's got a very pungent scent. And so maybe you'll catch it in the video, maybe you won't. But he made this really, really funny.
It's fine, we can share. Here, open that and smell that.
Which was funny to me. I don't know. I included it. Hopefully you get a laugh out of it. You can kind of see the yucky face.
So I'll show you whenever I reset it how I did it.
So now we'll move on to day 2. My brother and I are heading out to go check our traps again at this point.
No.
Not really confident with it being our first trap set ever.
Oh, we got a beaver.
But
let's
for
go.
whatever reason,
See
we
it?
got lucky.
We got us a beaver.
Telling them we got one. You can kind of see that dark brown mound.
Let's fucking go.
Back there. That is in
Let's
fact
fucking go.
a beaver.
Yeah, it's dead.
Perfectly. And here's a still clip of it. A perfect catch. One side of the spring is way back towards the back, and one
Those
is right
things are
behind
dead.
it. Perfect catch, instant kill. Very, very lucky to have gotten it. At this point, obviously I'm doing a voiceover
that's
for a reason.
perfect.
I was really excited that we actually caught it. I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to do it.
The way this thing works is you got to compress these springs.
You
It's got the
learn
safety
things,
clasp.
whether that be
They're strong as shit.
neighbors, coworkers, friends.
So you got to sit here and
but I was able to do it. Super proud. We're guessing there's 5 to 6 beavers, so obviously still have our work cut out for us. But having the first one under our belt was really, really confident. Not only that,
just poked a hole in
I
the
obviously didn't
goddamn.
have a scale, but I assumed this guy's anywhere between 45 and 50 pounds. It was a relatively big beaver. So you can see when those springs are expanded, they're extremely tough. So I got
this
tool from
not under
Beaver,
pressure
just a
like
trap
this.
setting tool. I've got to be completely honest. After this day, I think they had already seemed to be bent a little. The first trap set when I went to go set them initially, the spring for the catch had already flown off. For a $40 tool, it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I ended up seeing a guy on YouTube who tied the rope, put it around his boot, and then fed it through each loop twice, and was able to collapse the springs that way. I've found that actually works a lot better for me than this trap setting tool did, so that's kind of what we've used since. But again, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but it's a relatively large beaver, and with no experience being around beavers or trapping beavers, I was shocked.
Here's beaver number 1.
Beavers are technically a rodent. I was assuming
Last night, probably.
a large rat or maybe double the size of a muskrat.
No.
I was definitely not expecting a beaver that was larger than my dog. So this is really, really cool. So of course, we had to take advantage of the photo opportunity with our first beaver. So here's a couple
Hang by his
of those
tail.
stills. I'll get my brother in here and then me with the beaver, and hopefully by looking at it you'll be able to see just
Perfect.
how massive this beaver was. Really large. Since then, not on video, but we've caught 2 more. Here's one that was about a 30-pound beaver, and this last one was just a little bit bigger at about 33 pounds. Really weird. Both of them are pretty light blonde colored. But now that we've got some of these beavers removed, we're looking to start removing dams. So I took the drone back out to get a couple videos of what we're dealing with. So there you can see dam 1, and then here's the other side of that dam. That will be the last dam to be removed, as that's the farthest upstream. And then as we take the drone here flying downstream, we come across roughly 2 more dams, but you can just see the sheer amount of water that these beavers have backed up. And you can see obviously the drone turns pretty quickly there, but along this dam to the right you can see they've dammed up about a 30-yard line, which is just insane to me. I would have had no idea that beavers could do that much. Obviously these dams have been here for a while. Here's dam number 2 going there, and then finally we get to kind of the source of the problem, which is dam 3, this kind of small little dam. It's amazing the system that they can create to create these wetlands. I wouldn't mind the wetlands so much if it were bringing in waterfowl or other animals, but unfortunately it seems as though these beavers are really only creating habitat for themselves and are just wreaking havoc on the farmers' lands on either side of us, and then obviously our land. So obviously we got a little bit more trapping ahead of us, and then hoping to have a video put out here in the next 2 weeks of the dam removal and draining all of this water. I'd appreciate a like, a subscribe, and let me know if there's anything specific you'd like to see, and we'll catch you later.